This is Juan the Kracken Adams, and you're watching Combat Insiders.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Combat Insiders. Joshua Furs here with Nick Portella. We're here live via Skype with the Kracken, Juan Adams. He's got a big fight coming up, his UFC debut, UFC on Fox 31. It's the last UFC on Fox card, actually. It's in Milwaukee. He's fighting Chris De La Rosa, and it's, just a little over a week, so it's the 15th, right? So, man,
Yep.
How's your training going? How are you doing? What have you been up to since the Contender series?
Honestly, I've been training pretty much nonstop since October. I got pretty fat after Contender series. I went on the toilet pipe, as I like to call it. Went around the country, doing my thing, laying that pipe, and drinking a lot. My trainer said I was fat, so we got back in the gym, and then a couple of weeks later, we had a fight offer. So I'm glad my trainer made me stop partying. But since then, we've just been working out a lot.
Yeah, going back to your Contenders fight, you always look at the records, but what was interesting to me is you fought Sean Teed, who's local to me. Did you have any, you won via ground and pound. Did you have any reserve about going to the ground with him? Because he's like pretty legit with BJJ, but you didn't seem to care at all. I'm just curious if that ever crossed your mind in there, or you were just there to get it done.
I'm just there to get it done. In my mind, with punches, I don't think anyone submits me, especially off of their back. There's a saying we got down here, and I'm sure you guys have heard it, but you hit a black belt in the face once, he becomes a brown belt. Twice, he's a purple belt. 3 times, 3 times he's a blue belt, and after that, he's a white belt. So I think I hit him way more than 4 times. So
yeah, definitely. I saw the fight 3 times.
So going into this fight, man, does it feel like like I said, you're coming off strong, coming off the Contender series, and it's your first fight, and it's also a big show, being that it is the last one on Fox, right? Is there any added pressure to that, or is it business as usual for you?
It's business as usual for me. I'm trying to get a performance bonus. I feel like if I go out there and I perform like I always perform, it's one thing. It's weird for me because I do have so few fights. I wrestled collegiately, so I'm used to that stage and that pressure. It got to me a lot in college, but since then, it's just really, I've never really felt, there's your nerves or whatever, but it's never been on the level of when I was competing in college. And part of that's just because I know I'm that much better than everyone that I've been fighting lately. So it's weird. I don't know how to lose, I've never experienced that, so that thought doesn't cross my mind. So there's only that pressure. It's like, what if I do? But part of me kind of wants to, whenever it does happen, because everybody loses in this sport. It'll be like a huge weight off of my shoulders. Then I can just
got it out of the way. Now we're good.
Go in there, come back stronger. So I'm going out there, have fun. Hopefully I can retire this dude.
I feel like, you're undefeated now, but I feel like, and I think Josh agrees, we've always said, or I feel that wrestling is the absolute base for MMA. Would you say that the reason you're so successful has to do with your strong wrestling background?
Oh, definitely. I've been pushed to deep waters before in matches. I've come from behind. I've wrestled ahead. I've dominated guys, and I've been dominated. So there's no real frontier physically that I haven't crossed. The jitters, I got to compete Division I, at big tournaments, and I've had pressure on me before. So it wasn't really. It was a great base for me, and I don't get tired from grappling, and that's one thing that I love that wrestling gave me. I can carry someone just as big as me for however long, and I'm still going to be able to compete, and I'm still going to be able to perform.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. At your weight class, it's very odd for anyone to have a gas tank to go 15 minutes or 25 minutes if
Yeah.
if you're a main event, but you're so conditioned at this point. Like you said, you're confident. I could carry this on the ground all 3 rounds, and you're just ready to go. Is it hard to keep that cardio? Because I know they say after about 48 hours, your cardio starts to drop, or are you just so used to maintaining that level, it's second nature to you by now?
It's pretty second nature, and I really have to credit my my trainer Ryan Baker. I could, if I listed all the stuff this guy does for me, like the show would be about him, not me. He's I'm telling you, like MMA, because he's competed in MMA, so he does know every aspect of MMA, and his specialty is strength and conditioning. But we apply strength and conditioning concepts, when we apply MMA concepts to our workouts, and it's just crazy. And on top of that, if I'm ever just bored or like I can't work out that day because we've pushed it a little too hard that week, we'll go. He's not above, opening up a gym and getting on the mats with me. He holds pads for me. We go over striking technique. We go over grappling technique. We go over all kind of stuff. So I'm so used to constantly moving. And, I went to a military college, so I had to do, ROTC workouts. And sometimes I'd have to do an ROTC workout, a commandant time workout, and then go to wrestling practice right after. Or there's times I would have to do the fitness test and then practice right after. So from that aspect, I'm just so used to it. I've been training hard. I've wanted to be a professional athlete since I was, 12 years old. And once I hit my first growth spurt, and my mom would let me start lifting weights and stuff, I got with one of my coaches, and I've always, working hard has always just been a part of my nature. And, in college, I was a strength and conditioning All-American. There's been times, where I'll get an injury or something with Ryan, and I can't squat for, 6 to 8 months, and we go right back in there. First day, we're doing reps of 515, like it's nothing. So
yeah.
It's just once you get to a certain level, and you condition your body to do what it can, even when you're hurt. That's the biggest thing, is being able to push it even when I am injured. Yeah. So cardio has just never been a question for me. My resting heart rate is 44 beats a minute. So
wow. That's like guys who run marathons are like in the 40s. Yeah. So
yeah.
You're right on par with guys that run 30,000 miles in one shot. So going into this fight, I know your opponent has a couple more fights than you, but if you actually look at it and break it down, you may have had stiffer competition, with the exception of one of his losses. What do you see out of him that would pose to you the biggest threat? I mean, I know when you come in ready, you don't feel like there's a threat, but if you had to pick like something that out of his game that you're watching for.
He throws. He's got heavy hands, obviously. He can hit, but his conditioning is so bad, that's not really an issue. I think the biggest threat he poses to me is, he can't take a punch. So I don't think I'm going to, have him rattled like I did with Sean Teed, and, he might try and catch me with something when I'm, throwing heat at him. But as long as I keep my hands up, work my technique, and move around him, even that's not an issue. His grappling is, he's not a wrestler by any stretch of the imagination.
And you're at home there. That's your home base.
So I think on the feet is where he presents the biggest threat, and that's, on the feet, I just don't see an issue from him.
We know that you've trained with Curtis Blades in the past. Where do you currently see the heavyweight ranking picture right now? Because it seems a little, I don't want to say muddied, but it's a little strange, right? You have DC champ, and he's talking about the Lesnar fight, and you got Stipe, who never really got the rematch. And then you had, Blades and Ngannou, which I think a lot of people thought Blades was gonna run through Ngannou. I know I did. I know some back and forth, but I thought Blades was gonna do some ground and pound and take out Ngannou like he did the Overeem, and then Overeem just won. So it's like, it seems like there's a lot of weird shifts going on. How do you see the heavyweight title picture going, maybe moving forward?
Honestly, I think Overeem is going to have a little bit of a resurgence. I think Volkov, him and Curtis need to fight. But your top 6 or top 7, and JDS is back in the picture also. So,
Yes.
It's your top 6 or top 7 are all legit guys. I think Overeem will have one more big run at a title, and then he's got 2, maybe 3 more years before he kind of hangs it up. DC's already been talking about retirement, so
Yeah.
I think you've got Stipe, Curtis, and Ngannou. Derek, I don't know how much longer Derek is gonna fight, but he's always a threat. Because of that right hand. Yeah. And then JDS, we'll see where he's at in 2 or 3 fights, but. So those top 6 or top 7 guys are going to be there, excluding Cormier, for at least 2 or 3 more years. Yeah. 7 through 15 is, it's a crapshoot, honestly. I don't want to call out any guys in the top 15, honestly, because I've said it before. I want the entire division. I want to fight every person, every heavyweight on the UFC roster. So I don't care what the rankings are. I've even said if you line them up in reverse order, I'll go one by one. I'll fight every 2 months if I have to. But I really want to fight everyone on this roster. So when I am the champion, there is no doubt, and I have cleaned out the entire division.
Yeah, that's one way to make it. That's one way to have it not questioned. Yeah. Would you beat everybody?
Everybody. And you're one of the bigger guys, right? Because you have to cut to get down to 265, right?
Yes, I'm actually cutting right now. So I'm 283, 283 right now. I walk around at I got up to 305 after Contender series. When my trainer called me fat, I got down to 295.
And that's why you're the Kracken.
Yeah. I'm working now, trying to get down to 2. We'll start our water cut on Sunday. Get me down to 266.
Yeah. Wow.
So how did the nickname come about? It's obviously cool as shit. So how did that come about?
It actually started because I drink a lot of rum. Kracken rum is my favorite. That's how I got the VMI is a tough place to get through. So my 5th year there, I only needed to pass 1 class to graduate. I came back that year just to wrestle. So my roommate and I were going through a handle of Kracken and a handle of Blackheart every week. So once I graduated, I just kept drinking Kracken. And one of my buddies saw me drinking it one day and was like, dude, that's got to be your fight name. Because his fight name he was going by Cthulhu. And so Kracken, he's my big brother. So
cool.
We're like, yeah, it's perfect. Kracken and Cthulhu, and I drink the rum, so
that's hilarious.
It was just a great match.
Yeah, it is.
And then they said, rolling with me, you're getting dragged to deep waters. You know what's coming. You can't stop it. It's just arms and legs coming from everywhere. So it just stuck.
I was telling him if there was a imaginary situation, which would never happen. But if I was in the octagon in the ring and I heard my opponent coming out and his name was the fucking Kracken,
We're out.
I'm out. I don't care. I don't even care what you look like. If your name is the Kracken, I'm fucking gone. I'm out.
Yeah.
So I saw it on your Twitter, right? So I thought it was kind of funny. I chuckled at it. You said that one of the first things you're going to do after your fight was tear up some Little Debbie.
Yeah, man. I don't even understand.
What's your Little Debbie of choice?
All right. Well, I'm partial to. I love zebra cakes. But I like their little spin-off. So I like the zebra cake rolls. And they discontinued the zebra cake nutty bar, and I'm pissed about it. But so it was those 2, and then I go strawberry shortcake rolls. You got the oatmeal cream pies, which are always good.
Yes.
And then there's the fudge mounds, and I don't really fuck with Star Crunch. Star Crunch is ass. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't eat ass, but if I had to guess what it tasted like, it would be Star Crunch.
Yeah, that's hilarious, man. So look, Holloway and Ortega's come up this weekend too. It's a huge fight. How do you see that one playing out?
I'm going T City on that one. I mean, I love both fighters. Honestly, huge fan of Max Holloway, but I think Ortega's just got something else about him. His jiu-jitsu is Max Holloway's good at jiu-jitsu, but T City's is just on a different level.
It feels different.
His striking has shown vast improvements over his last few fights, also. So I got to go with Ortega on that one.
So big question. I know Josh usually gets it, but I'm stealing it from him.
Go ahead.
What's your 1 to 2 year plan? Where do you see yourself? A year from now, 2 years from now?
A year from now, I see myself top 15 in the division. Probably riding a 3-fight win streak. 2 years from now, I see myself riding 6 to 7 fight win streak, top 10 in the division. Still going one by one up the ladder, cleaning everybody out, taking home 4 or 5 performance bonuses by then. And that's it from the MMA standpoint. That's where I see myself. Personal life, that's always up in the air. You never know. I don't like to plan too far ahead in that. I've got a game plan in mind, but the more specific you are, the more specific everything else has to be, and there's too many variables out there. So I control what I can. Ultimately, I'm going to renovate my mom's house and start renting that one out. And I've got a couple businesses that I'm in the works opening up down here in Houston. But I definitely see myself staying in Houston for a really long time. I love the team that I have put together, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
You know what's wild? You're doing your weight cut, and you're just like, I don't know. You just have like an air of confidence about you that you don't always see. I mean, because we'll get guys on and they're cutting weight and they're miserable, but you're just like, I don't know. There's like a calmness, like, I know I'm going to make weight. I know I'm going to get this W. Like, it's already played out in your mind. It's just a matter of it happening in life. Is that kind of accurate? I mean, you're just really
there. I mean, and the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is, before my first amateur fight, I was 295, 10 days away from the fight. Right. I got with Ryan. That's when I first met Ryan. He helped me get to weight, and from then on, we made it a science. So my weight cut is scientific. Every time I'm no heavier than 282 at 1 week out, right? Yeah. That's where we start our water cut, no heavier than 282. And we have a routine down from there. I just finished, I've got one more really intense workout after this, but the work is done at this point. So all I have to do is execute. And I've done everything that I need to do. I've trained. I've got my repetitions in. So when it comes fight night, it's time to execute. But my fight, for me, the weight cut is always the hardest thing. That's my battle. The fight, once I'm in there, it's going to go however it's going to go. We're reacting at that point. I've got a plan, but everyone's got a plan until you get rocked. So it's, you can't plan that. You work stuff and you put yourself in different positions, and when the opportunity presents itself, that's when your skill comes through. And I know that I'm well prepared in every area there is of a fight. So
yeah, I really just think your attitude is good for it's something the division needs. You know how when McGregor came in and he talks and blah blah blah, and that was good at that time for that division. I don't know, it's just something about it. I think it's really good for the division. You're bringing something different. Your attitude is good. I don't know. I just think it fits. It's like almost like passing the torch, like next level. Next generation.
Yeah, you're confident, but you're respectful. You feel good, but you're respectful about it. And that's it says a lot about your character. So well, good luck to you, man. So this guy, where can people reach out on social media, Juan?
So on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter, I am chosen Juan, not one. Juan 285. 285 because that's like my ideal weight. That's what I wrestled at in college, and that's what I'm usually walking around at during fight camp. And on Facebook, it's Juan the Kracken Adams.
There you go. everybody, Juan the Kracken Adams is going to be on UFC on Fox. Going to be in Milwaukee. You get your tickets if you're local there. If not, check it out on Fox. He's going to be fighting Chris De La Rosa again. That's next weekend, right? The 15th.
Yep.
So check him out. Go check him out on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Go follow him. And for Nick Portella, for Joshua Furs, for the Kraken, this Combat Insiders, and we're out.